Yo, welcome back to the Audio Theory Podcast. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button as well as the subscribe button. What's good, Danny? How have you been?
I've been good, dude. Good month so far. Enjoying some quality family time. Was in New York over the weekend. Chill with the family. Bro, freezing though, dude. It was one night, dude, it was 30 degrees, but with the wind chill, it said on my phone that it felt like 17 degrees. And I was like, dog, there's no attire I have that would even come close to being appropriate for this weather. So like freezing my ass off, but definitely was able to enjoy some good quality time with the family. Shout out to my grandmother. It was her 82nd birthday was the reason I went out there. So that was fun. Thank you, brother. How about you, man? How's life on your end?
This week is rough. The weekend was nice. Played pickleball for the first time.
Oh, bro, we got to get into that in a second.
Yeah. It was amazing. I'll be honest. Before I played it, I thought because anything that becomes a trend,
an aggressive trend,
yeah. Like I have like an icky feeling towards it, or I just assume like I'm not gonna enjoy it because I feel like the hype is already too high. It's just like if everyone around me is saying this TV show is the best, I'm gonna go into it like I know I'm not gonna like it as much as they do.
Yeah, you're looking for the opportunities to critique it for sure.
Yeah, but absolutely fell in love. The first couple minutes was rough because I play tennis and the physics of the ball are completely different. Obviously, the rules are different. So I'm like, and then the racket's not the same size. So I'm like, I got like the nice stance and swing and everything and just complete air, like not hitting the ball. And, but you know, of course, with time got used to it. And it was insane because, well, one of the guys, part of the group, I guess he played in middle school. And me and him were rallying and just hitting back and forth. Like I felt like I had been playing for years. Like he hit it over me. I ran and like did a backwards move and like got the point. And I'm like, oh shit. Now I feel like this is my new favorite sport.
Dude, it's so much fun, bro. So much fun. And you'll see, because excuse me, I know you feel this with tennis. Like in tennis, there's so much arm movement, but like, as I'm sure you felt that even that one time playing, but the better you get, the less is more. So there's like a training video that they say like pretend that a pickleball is like in your armpit, and if the ball falls, that means you're doing too much. Like you're meant to keep it very much like locked in, and it's just like the arm movement pause. So bro, like it's so much fun, bro. That's why, dude, I've been fucking talking about this shit nonstop since July. Like it's so much fun. But there is gonna be a point, bro, that I think I was telling you offline, like it'll stop from being fun to like, bro, I'm trying to fucking win. And that line was, so I told you on the pod also offline, like, so for my birthday, I was lucky enough that like 10 of my friends took the day off. We went to the park on a Friday morning and played pickleball for like 4 hours. But I realized that half of them suck and they were just trying to have a good time. And I was like, oh wait, this isn't fun for me though, bro. Cause I'm trying to
I know, because like the dude I was rallying with, who's like the only really good one there, he's asked me after, he texted me and he's like, yo, I think we should join a tournament or like some sort of league. And then my first reaction was like, yes, but then I thought about it and like envisioned me getting fucking pissed off, smashing my racket because we lost like the championship or some shit. So now I'm like, maybe I want to have fun with it first for a little bit before I, just make it this stressful, like I gotta win thing.
Yeah, because I think we probably have the same mindset, bro. Like my thing is like, if I'm gonna do anything, I need to be good at it, right? There's just too many distractions, too many actual things to focus on in life. I'm like, bro, if I'm gonna do this, like I need to be good at it. But yeah, dude, I'm past the point. So like my goal for 2025 is to do multiple tournaments, because like that's like the only way to get better, bro. Because like, dude, there's there's like ranking systems, bro. There's like an app called like the DUPR app, where like when you beat someone or play someone, you both enter your names and like it ranks you against other people. Bro, it's like beginner level, right? You play someone and it's like, oh, this is fun. Bro, when you play that person who's like slightly better than intermediate, bro, the gap is drastic, bro. So like I went to like a random park with my boy like 2 weeks ago, And bro, you would think that I've never played pickleball in my life, how badly I was getting destroyed. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck is going on? So like, bro, it's like, it's fun to see what's possible because like, again, bro, like there's people, again, if your boy's been playing since middle school, that's insane. He must be nasty because bro, like you just dedicate like a year to this, you'll see a drastic increase, bro. Because like, man, there's people who could put that little fucking wiffle ball thing anywhere. And you're like, how, dude, this is a fucking plastic ball. Like, how is this possible? And like, yeah, dude, it's amazing, bro. I'm glad you got into it finally, bro, because like, it's so much fun.
And the sound of hitting the ball, at least from what I gathered, feels a lot more satisfying, like that crack. Versus tennis, because it's not with tennis, like you have to hit the ball in kind of like a perfect way for it to have a nice like smack sound. But with pickleball, like once you hit it and you hear that crack, it's just a different type of feeling. It's kind of like ping pong almost, for me at least.
Correct. But even ping pong, again, ping pong is way too much arm movement. Like, you know, did you play singles or doubles?
Tennis, or this time
pickleball?
Doubles.
Okay, cool.
Well,
cool,
against the guy was singles, and then most of the time before that was doubles.
Okay, so I would tell you, like, if you want to, as you keep progressing and like you actually keep falling in love with it, you got to stick to doubles because single gives you such bad habits because the court's so big that you can get away with doing like crazy nonsense. But it is a phenomenal workout. Like singles, bro, you can burn close to like but you can get close to like 6,000 steps in like an hour of pickleball if you play singles. So like, as far as like, hey, what can I do instead of running to stay in shape? Bro, singles, pickleball is where it's at.
Yeah, you know, it was a great workout for sure.
Nice, dude. Good for you. Any what are your plans before we get into like the pod? What are your plans for the holidays?
Just going to LA for a week and then coming back. Nothing out of the ordinary. Christmas is at my cousin's house, the really nice house that I think you saw in July.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we'll be there. My wife will be there as well.
Oh, beautiful.
And I think that's pretty much it. I feel like the Christmas time, usually we don't, or at least I don't travel anywhere or do anything too wild. And I'm starting to not like doing stuff on New Year's Eve as well, just because I hate the feeling of going back to work and like diving right into New Year's resolutions and all this shit. Meanwhile, I'm like hungover as fuck, dehydrated, out of shape because I ate like 14 pizzas the 3 days before. So now like we're taking it easy heading into New Year's. So like day one, it's not such a shock.
And you guys are as of right now, the plan is for sober January?
Yeah, sober January. It's usually the plan every year. Every now and then if something really comes up, like, I mean, the annoying thing is our anniversary is
it's like towards the end, right?
Of the month. Yeah. So I think sometimes we make an exception for like some wine or whatever. And then we just, every day we make an exception. We extend a week into February.
Got it. All right, man. That's nice. So I'm glad you're getting some family time. For us, I mean, you already know this, but to share with the people listening to the pod and watching it. So it's my wife and I's, we're going to officially go on our honeymoon. So we leave on Christmas Day, which is
wow,
bro.
That soon?
Yeah, bro. 2 weeks away.
I thought this was in February for some reason.
Yeah,
maybe
dude.
That was originally the plan.
Always Christmas, New Year's. So we leave Christmas Day. We're gonna wake up, have mimosas, French toast. Our flight's at 7 p.m. So we're gonna try to get to the airport like around 3:30, get wasted in the lounge, and then pass out, bro. I guess not really because you're closer than me, but dude, it's a 16-hour flight from Miami to Qatar, then a 3-hour layover, then a 6-hour flight to Bangkok, and then an 1.5-hour layover, and then a flight to Koh Samui. So like the first day, like, dude, I leave on December 25th and I don't get to my final destination till 8 a.m. December 27th. So like, that's wild, bro. But so excited, bro. It's going to be relaxing. Nice. I mean, shout out to my company for paying for my bills, but like, I need a fucking break from that as well. So like, just like super excited to go into like the new year and truly be like in a Zen moment to come back and, you know, take on everything. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Nice. That totally makes sense why you keep saying you're checked out. I'm like, damn, this nigga's already checked out. He has like 2 months.
No. I'm checked out because like this shit is like around like I'm booking the hotels. Like the hotels are booked. We're confirming like the New Year's plans, and we're going to the Phi Islands when we're in Phuket. So like yeah, there's like all the things are happening right now. So super excited about that.
Dope. Yeah, looking forward to seeing the pictures and video from that.
Absolutely, bro. But let's get into it. Dude, I feel like we have a lot to talk about. It's so crazy how these things can just like sneak up on us. But episode 198 about to start. Episode 197 is everywhere. We talk about obviously Blair's trip from being away, the GNX album, and also some feedback on Drake. So peep that, comment on that, some more. But I want to start, man, really quick, because I feel like you and I gave pretty much the most outstanding review on GNX you could find anywhere, right? I think we both gave it an A. We're gonna go into our Spotify and Apple Music wrap-up stuff, but it was high on both our lists. However, we did give it some critique because we felt the album, I mean, I don't think there's like a perfect album, right? Like I think there's just like, that's a very small margin of people, and I don't think that was this, which is, I don't think the worst news in the world, right? I don't think even Kendrick would tell you this is the most flawless album he's ever created. So I wanted to ask you, man, because I've never been, again, I'm a big Kendrick fan in a general, but I'm not in tune with his fan base. So like we got a lot of backlash for giving critique to certain songs on this album. And by certain, I mean two, right? You critique GNX production quality. I critique Reincarnated and the overall idea that certain songs had too many Drake subliminals. And we're getting dogged online for this. So like, is this like common practice? Do you feel like this is just like a very sensitive time for all Kendrick fans? Like, how is your interpretation of this?
But I mean, I'm pretty close to the comments in general. And I would say this is more a general stan behavior, because on the videos where we critique Drake, people are like, oh, you're a Kendrick glazer, like have fun listening to your woke bullshit. And then if it's a critique on Kendrick, it's like, oh, you're glazing Drake, like go suck some biracial Canadian dick. And I'm like, bro, I just said that the song could have like been a bit longer. You're acting like I want this nigga to die or something.
Yo, yeah.
And I get it, because like I put in the titles, obviously I'll make it sound maybe a bit more interesting or exaggerated than it should be, because if I titled the clip where we're giving our critique on the album, if I just say like things Kendrick could have done better, like it doesn't sound as I guess it doesn't pique your curiosity as much as saying, you know, issues with GNX or something like that, which is what I did. So I think really ultimately it's just stans who are unwilling to do the research and fully understand the bigger picture. But I think that's just unfortunately how the internet culture works. They just look at the headline. They don't want to investigate, you know, your other content or views. Like think of any like person who's considered right wing or left wing. They're not going to research the other 80 times that you said something that contradicts it. They're just going to say, oh, I don't like what you said here. And even if it's not that extreme, I'm just going to assume you're a hater. And write a comment. Yeah.
Dude, there was one thing where I felt the need to state that, hey, guys, we gave this an A rating. Right, I don't know what else you want from us. And then one guy responded, it should have been an A+ though. It's like, bro, like, I don't know.
You can't win. And then I look at their profile, I'm like, all right, this guy looks like he doesn't even have fucking more than $3 to his name. Probably didn't graduate fourth grade or past fourth grade. So at that point, I'm like, okay, like I shouldn't even entertain this.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, it just gets, again, and the funny thing is, I think because we've been like in and out of this for you know, because we've had traveling, holidays, all this stuff. So like I think we're obviously grateful for the content. I mean, as far as the engagement of the content we're putting out. But yeah, it baffles me though when it's not like, again, I'm not saying everyone should be cheering for us, right? Like again, people who actually comment on this stuff, there's things going on mentally that are probably not the most tuned in with like real world, right? I understand that. But it is odd when it was like, bro, I felt like 97% of all that engagement was like negative. Like, fuck you, you know what you're doing.
Very strong. Like, yeah.
Dude, there was one woman that was just middle finger emojis and shit emojis. And I'm just like, what do I do with this? Like,
I don't even think they're paying attention to the actual content either.
yeah, dude, that baffles me, bro. And that honestly just gets me sad. Like, and if we wanted to like take it for like a bigger, like this whole thing with the allegedly that kid from UPenn, Luigi, killing that CEO of United Healthcare. Like, bro, all the energy online is like cheering this guy on, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, like, all right, we could have our own feelings about CEOs making too much money, but I don't think the appropriate reaction is like, oh, well, this guy's so cute, the other guy must have deserved it. I'm like, bro, like,
yeah,
he murdered someone, bro. Like, what are we talking?
I was literally talking about that with my coworkers today, and it just really is kind of, I think it's less about people liking the individual and more about championing whoever is basically defeating their so-called enemy. So I guarantee there's a lot of people who are all of a sudden ride or die for Kendrick just because they don't like Drake. They weren't necessarily fans of Kendrick before. And I think that's kind of like how the CEO shit works. Like, okay, yeah, he's good looking and has a nice smile, but he got rid of the rich elite who do bad shit. And I know we're going to get into more topics of like elite people getting in trouble, but I feel like ultimately it's like people don't necessarily believe in the hero in the story as much as they do enjoy seeing the downfall of the people they hate, and they'll just defend whoever happens to be the hero in that scenario.
Yeah, no, I agree, bro. Again, and I know it was entertaining, and bro, I'm a New Yorker, and like the memes of like, you know, people from New York saying, bro, for 10 grand, I didn't see anything. I didn't see, you know, like, it's funny, bro. I get that. But bro, at the core of it, like a husband was murdered, bro. Like, that's terrible, right? And the idea of like the internet backing this guy just because he's cute, it's like, get the fuck out of here, man. So
yeah,
but I was feeling that, bro, again, dude, like, again, I'm grateful for the engagement, bro. That clip has gotten like 16,000 views on Reels. Like, shout out to us, bro. But it was wild how, like, man, that was such like, again, I'm not saying that you and I have takes the same way we're saying that songs aren't perfect, but I know our takes aren't perfect. Bro, but it's simply just an opinion. But when the overarching theme of that opinion is stating that, hey, we love this, but it wasn't perfect, the idea of them coming back and saying, who the fuck are these haters? You don't know anything about the culture. It's like, bro, what?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
How do we get here? Like,
some comments don't even make sense. Like, I saw a couple comments. One was like, y'all aren't black, you wouldn't know. I don't know if I'm fucking Chinese or Mexican. Please tell me, because the camera might be fucked up. Maybe it's not bringing enough light or something, but apparently we're not black in any way, shape, or form, or know nothing about the culture. One guy was like, you're not urban. And then I had to re-listen to the take to see like if I might have said something that
was terrible,
implied I'm out of touch. And I'm like, all I said was the beat could have been better. So you mean to tell me every dude in the hood who's like of the culture is gonna have the same opinion on that one beat? Like, some people are gonna say it's whack, some people are gonna say it's dope. We didn't do some like crazy socio-economic analysis of like why the album's bad and doesn't, you know, mention this. It was just like, okay, I don't like his voice in this part, or I don't like this beat. Like, very surface level in a very subjective way that like subjective apply to any album.
Subjective as hell, bro. That's my thing. And again, I'm not trying to defend us, but it was just like, bro, like, I don't think the reaction is warranted based off the actual content created, right? Like, we weren't saying, no, whoever made that GNX beat is the most idiotic producer ever created, right? We were like, hey, it sounded a little bit elementary compared to the rest of the project that is elevated to a level that we've never heard Kendrick before. Like, how is that terrible, bro? Like, it was good. Yeah. I love all the commentary though, bro. I was dying over the weekend laughing. I'm like, bro, this is crazy. And it kept like, I'm like, bro, who are you talking to? We're not even responding, you know? Like,
yeah, no.
And it was just like, they're talking to themselves in the comments. And like, dude, the funniest part, and we can move all this in a second, but remember that one comment where the guy was like, I'm not mad at this take, but I can't take it seriously because the guy looks like Drake. And I'm like, bro, that makes
That's
the
funny.
most sense out of anything here, bro.
But like, I appreciate those comments because you can tell that they're not super pressed. They're just like having fun, you know, and that's it. But like, my guilty pleasure is responding to people that just have the dumbest fucking reasoning for why they think the way they think, or are just completely blind to what we're really trying to say. Like basically saying you're a Drake glazer, and then the irony is the next 5 clips we're critiquing Drake. And it's like, I get it. The internet's vast. You don't have time to fucking do the research and give a shit about us. Or people were like, who are you? It's like, I mean, we never said that our opinion's better than yours. It's just, we have access to the internet, and guess what? We're going to post it, and some people are going to like it, some aren't.
Correct. But again, appreciate the engagement. Please comment on everything we post. Again, we'll create more content for you, but I promise you, we're not trying to clickbait you. It's just an actual opinion, which again, I think is another reason why we are like, yo, what's happening? Like, it'd be one thing if we're saying these things to garner a reaction. Right. These are comments that are generally like, bro, I'm listening to the project in depthly and identifying things that, okay. Wasn't a fan of that for actual reasons, not a post, not a like, oh, dude, who the fuck is Kendrick trying to be a fucking dick rider on Tupac's, legacy, blah, 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 bro. Like, that never happened. So that's like that's the irony of it all to me.
Right. And this got me thinking. So shout out to Wayno. He actually started his own, like, I guess you could call it a podcast, but it's just him speaking on much of the topics we talk about. And someone with the credentials of him, even he gets a lot of hate. And he's very level-headed, doesn't say like bullshit.
Yo, just very level-headed, 100%. Yeah.
Like he tries to be as unbiased as possible, has experience. So like you would think all of that, because when people say, who are you to us and stuff, you would think that if you get to a level where people should know who you are, it would like remove and filter out that shit. But even he deals with the academics. Academics is different because he tries to get a reaction. But Wayno, that just kind of proved to me like you can't really win with these people. And he's like, you got to just ignore it and keep it pushing.
Nice. What was the overall topic that he was getting criticized for? Was like more like a general statement?
It was just like a general thing at the beginning of the video. He's like, thank you for helping me grow to XYZ number of followers. And he said, I used to get mad and respond to every comment that like pissed me off. But I don't have time for it. He's like, I know people are just looking for a reaction and, don't have anything better to do. Because when you're growing, you kind of have to see what the engagement looks like.
Of course.
Right? It's not like Joe Rogan where you can just post shit and forget about it.
Yeah.
That's the tough thing.
That is a tough thing, 100%, bro. But I think Charlemagne said this a few months ago, ironically, before we get into our next topic. But I think he was saying like, bro, no secure man or woman is in the comments saying positive shit. It's all haters who are insecure about their own opinions and shit, right? So that's kind of how I was taking it. But yeah, dude, when there was like the comments of like, you're not from the culture, what I'm like, dude, the ones that were like, who are y'all? I'm like, bro, you have 35 followers. What are we? Who are you, bro? Like, who are you? My God.
I'm just gonna respond better to any of those comments. Just better. That's it.
Dog, so great. But speaking of Kenny and his fans, all right, again, I obviously a lot of the content that we put out was about Kendrick Lamar's album, and his fans obviously do love him, rightly so. The Andrew Schulz piece of this, recently with regards to, again, the Kendrick line on what was it, Waxed Out Murals?
Whacked Out Murals.
Yeah, where he talks about like, white comedians should talk about black women. Everyone assumed it was Andrew Schulz. I did immediately, but it's not clear because he didn't say his name. But Andrew like doubled down on the jokes, and then that became like a bigger thing where like it feels like a large portion of the internet's now like, bro, who the fuck is this guy? Is he being racist? Is this like weirdo behavior? Is it clout chasing behavior? So what are your thoughts on just the overall situation that they find themselves in?
I find this very weird because it seems to be overshadowing Drake. And given that not only did Kendrick not specify a name, but I also don't think what Kendrick said, even if it's, you know, obvious that it was Schulz or whatever, I don't think what Kendrick said was like some ridiculous out of pocket, like, damn, he really went there type of shit. It was just kind of like, to me, it came across as like, as a black man, this is like my preference on how I see things. And it seemed like Schultz took it to like level 100, and yeah, in a comedic way, I guess you could say, but it just seemed very, it had this air of bitterness and was kind of random, and just went on way too long, in my opinion, on the Flagrant podcast. And I just don't know why it was so triggering, especially for a white dude, when it's not like anything that serious. I think if Schultz had ignored it, like, this would have blown over by now.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a thing.
Yeah.
Because the album itself was so good that like no one's really remembering that one line. Like, it was a whatever line. I agree with you.
And I don't even think, like, after listening to the album, talking to you, whatever, I didn't even think about that line until someone on Twitter or something said it, and then it
became a thing.
Yeah.
Well, I think I messaged you on the side. Like, I'm pretty sure it's about Schultz. Yeah. But again, not that I at no point in texting you I'm thinking this is going to be like the biggest thing on the internet.
Yeah. I wasn't like oh shit, like he went there.
Agree 100%. Yeah. And again, just to give the audience more behind the scenes. So Blair and I both are Flagrant fans, Andrew Schultz fan. We actually saw Andrew Schultz together in West Palm Beach a couple years ago when Blair was visiting. But yeah, man, this is one that I really can't defend. And like, I'm not gonna say this is for the most obvious reason, but to your point, like, I agree with what Schultz was trying to do with the idea of like, I think the overarching theme that he was trying to say was, bro, everyone gets these fucking jokes, bro. I don't make fun of black women, white women, Asian women, black men, Asian men, white men, whoever. Like, but I think it could have stopped there. And I wasn't even offended, it's not the right word, but just we'll put that out there now. When he was talking about like, again, he was trying to be funny, right? With the whole thing, it was like, bro, like, you're telling me that I can't make fun of black women, but then you do this thing with South Park, who makes fun of, you know, white guys who make fun of black culture, and, you know, Dr. Dre who beats up black women and whatever, bro. I get what he was trying to do and like being facetious with that stuff, right? But I think it was like the sexual content about like taking like the whole sexual thing with Kendrick, like that was just weird, right? So like, I agree that everyone gets these jokes and I stand by that for him and I support him in that. But like, just because you say that, the same way we critique Kendrick Lamar or whoever, like, bro, like that song didn't really hit for me, bro, that joke didn't hit. Right. So like, you could stand by, bro, everyone gets these jokes, but I don't think you should stand by the actual joke. The joke itself wasn't good. It was very awkward, bro. Like, and I understand just because like Alex Media, Mark, Akash are laughing, that he might be like, oh, this is hitting. Bro, it wasn't hitting, bro. When we were watching
laughs at everything.
Laughs at everything, 100%. So does Alex Media in a weird way too. But it wasn't hitting, bro. As a viewer, as a fan, even I was left like, it's kind of weird, bro. Like, I don't know why you're talking about like having sex with this dude and like, I'll kiss him and put him in my lap. It's like, I don't know, bro, because that becomes like a physical thing, and like, I don't know why you want to go down that road, because that's no longer a joke. It's almost like assault, right? And then you run into this dude in the streets, and then it's like, what's gonna happen, bro? So like, that was the weird part. It's like, I agree with him with the sense of like, bro, I'm gonna keep making all the jokes I want, bro, 100%. But that specific one was just like odd. And then when people are critiquing you about that, you're like defending it and like trying to be even funny. Like, bro, I think there should be some like onus or like, yo, cute, that like, it wasn't the best joke, my bad, but everyone gets these jokes, blah, blah, blah. Like that was the part that really was uncomfortable for me, to be honest. As a fan, I was uncomfortable listening to that shit.
Yeah, no, I found myself doing that like awkward kind of smirk throughout it. You know, like when someone's saying some inappropriate shit and it's not so foul that like you want to get up and walk away or turn it off, but you're just kind of sitting there like like pretending to like give a fuck or like be into it. I think that's how Alex probably felt. And I don't know, I like if he had said, like what you said about everyone gets these jokes, doesn't matter race, your disability, like I'm gonna clown you. And if he had made this weird like sexual joke maybe once really quickly, even then I could be able to look past it. But it's like he
Yeah.
talked about it for like 30 minutes, found a way to go back into it. And the only like rationale I could get from it is like he didn't, as a comedian, you should have like a strong comeback of some sort. And I think like, I don't know if this is like some white boy type thing, but just say the most outlandish thing that like Kendrick or whoever couldn't even like respond to. Like, because it's so weird and goofy that like, what do you even say to that shit? It would be like pulling down your pants in the middle of a fight. Like, all right, the fight's over. I don't even know what to do now because you're just crazy. Like, that's kind of
yeah.
vibe I got
Honestly,
from it.
that's a great
It's
analogy.
like, let me
bro.
just say wild shit because I'm frustrated and see what happens. And I also don't like the fact he tried to like cushion it with, oh, I'm not a tough guy though. Like his security will fuck me up. Like it's kind of like what Aiden Ross did when he was in LA, you know, taunting people and shit, but then doing the classic like white boy thing. But like, oh, if you touch me, like I got lawyers and all of this and that. And then he kind of also transitioned to another thing that like, just given that he's white, kind of made me a little uncomfortable, was when he started doing the whole like grammatical thing of, well, he said ain't no white man supposed to talk about no black woman, and technically,
yeah, so
like,
technically I could do
negative
that
and shit.
Yeah.
And then saying like, you know, rappers degrade women. Like it sounded like I don't know, just, you know how white people generalize, say, oh, you know, black people always do this, or they're always, you know, up to no good and doing that. It just gave off that kind of air,
yeah.
especially in this context. So yeah, I think he could have had a very simple response and just be like, don't be sensitive, and moved on.
Yes, thanks for the shout out. Even though you didn't say my name, you know we're talking. I know you're talking about me. Everyone gets these jokes. But yeah, it was just, again, the fact that he tried to make a joke out of it. Again, bro, like we've seen his specials. We saw him live, bro. He's not I don't think there's not flawless people out there, bro. Like he's gonna have jokes that bomb. Comedians bomb. It's unfortunate that, again, probably with the most eyes on him based off his own popularity, not because of this, right? Like he's a very popular comedian, but then you're also in a moment going against the most popular rapper in the world today. It's a shame that he bombed in that moment, right? That's all this is, right? I think he's gonna be fine, bro. Like no one's gonna care about this if, you know, dude, by the time this guy Luigi gets arrested, or like, you know, no one cares, bro. We're gonna be on to the next thing. But I just think it's odd when you see someone bombing and they're doubling down, right? Like you could just say, bro, like, all right, that shit didn't hit, my bad. Like I wish that was there, because I'm just like, bro, like it wasn't funny. Like
also, it wasn't like a stand-up format or something where like you could say it's some art curated thing where it was part of his stand-up, right?
I don't know, bro, because technically if you're like on a comedic podcast, I feel like every moment's like a stand-up moment, right? Like the whole idea is that like everything is meant to be funny until it's obviously like a serious subject.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Because I was just thinking like, oh, what if I was claiming to be, you know, Mr. Funny Guy, and at the dinner table said some wild shit, and then someone gets offended. I'm like, well, I'm always this funny. Like, why are you offended? Like, you should let me fuck your wife at the dinner table. Like, how weird would that shit be? I guess he can do that in his personal life, but
yeah, it was odd. It was odd, bro. So, do you give sympathy, because on the Brilliant Idiots episode following that episode, he was talking about like how he's getting like pretty aggressive comments in his again, probably the same fans who were fucking shitting on us are talking about like, bro, like watch out, blah blah blah. Do you have any sympathy for him?
I would say no, because one, I mean, it sounded like he was already getting those comments for other reasons. I wouldn't be surprised if he got those comments just for his political views.
Fair.
Or interviewing Trump or whatever. I'm sure it's not like, who would want to see those comments regarding their innocent child, but at the same time, like, you signed up for a reaction, and you know, as a comedian, you know people are going to react. Maybe you don't know if Kendrick necessarily is going to say that or like rally the troops and attack you, but like Joe in Kansas, who's watching this shit, who loves Kendrick, Like, you should expect him to be like, I'm gonna hurt you. That's just like what's gonna happen. And if we ever said some outlandish shit that was offensive, I wouldn't be surprised at all if someone's like, yo, if I ever see you in person, I'm gonna stab you or something.
Yeah. I don't have sympathy for it, bro. You kind of sign up for this when you're, again, I don't have sympathy for it for everything you just stated, so I don't have to repeat it. But also the idea of like, bro, like you get those comments to your point all the time, bro. Like you make fun of Biden, and I'm sure you have a bunch of Democrats in your DMs or comment section saying, bro, who are you? You right-wingist piece of shit. Like, so yeah, I don't have like the idea of him bringing it up right after you double down on shitting on Kendrick. Again, I think the whole thing was like odd, bro. And again, bro, he's not. Bro, no one's perfect, bro. Like, again, man, we're all just making content. Sorry, we all have like, you know, kind of a rundown that we're trying to follow, but sometimes like the moment gets the best of us, and you kind of just do too much. I think he was just doing too much, bro. And I think all the backlash, quote unquote, that he's getting is warranted. But yeah, I think it'll blow over. I don't think it's like a real thing. I don't think Kendrick's gonna respond, because if I'm Kendrick, I'm like, bro, I didn't even say your fucking name, my guy. Like, what am I gonna? I'm gonna make you even more famous now when people already are assuming it's you. Like, yeah. So Kendrick's not gonna respond. So yeah, I think it'll blow over. But again, I do agree with the backlash he's getting in the sense of like, bro, that was a weird segment you did. Like, there were so many different ways to go about that the way you chose to handle it was very odd. So, and again, comedians bomb, the best comedians, Kevin Hart, Eddie Murphy, bomb all the time, bro. We just don't happen to see it because they don't have a podcast every Tuesday that drops, right? Like, we just happen to see it live or on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah. And it's just like when that one dude, Ari Scheffer, I think his name is, literally, I think the day Kobe died, maybe the day after, he was making fun of it, saying like, oh, we finally got rid of him because he SA'd that girl in that case that happened. And I'm pretty sure he got a bunch of threats, and he was under this whole guise of, oh, I'm just a comedian, you know, just being funny, like stop being sensitive. So I think if you're signing up to be that kind of comedian, you should just expect I don't care if 1,000 people love you, one person in that crowd is probably going to want to hurt you if you take it to these dark places. And they should be prepared for it. I mean, if they think everyone's too sensitive, then they shouldn't be reacting either to those crazy ass comments.
Yeah. So when like O'Shea Jackson calls him like a weird ass nigga, like, I agree. Like,
like it was weird, but then he has to go and do this passive. Like, if you're a comedian, just stay on that energy, respond with something funny. Don't be like, your dad's, you know, assaulted this person on this date or like whatever. Yeah. Again, I just think it's a poor chess move by him. But again, maybe he's thinking like, bro, like who gives a fuck? Like, this is not going to be a big deal in like 2 days. So yeah, very interesting. But we'll see if that even plays out today. Dude, it will be. And I hope this does not happen, bro. Like, as a flagrant Brilliant Idiots fan, dude, I've been a Brilliant Idiots fan for like 8 years, bro. But it would be funny though, on a weird level, if this is what breaks like him and Charlamagne up and like completely removes him from like the culture. And like, you know, because like this is like a weird thing to go down for, bro. Like, to make this joke that has nothing to do with anything, and this is the one that fucks up your career. Like, I don't wish that on him, but it would be so funny in a weird way if this is what his demise is after what's been a fucking exceptional rise in his overall career over the last like 6 years. For real. And the more and more we do this podcast, the more and more thankful I am I'm not a mega famous person, because it seems like everyone's walking on eggshells nowadays. Yeah.
And if a comedian has to, it's even, again, which is probably why he doubled down. He's like, no. I got to make this even weirder and shit, right? So it is what it is, bro. But again, shout out to Schulz, Flagrant, all them doing good things over there. All right, bro. Before we get into kind of the music segment of it, Jay-Z in the news. We're recording this on December 10th, which is crazy. But a couple days ago, which is also ironically a couple days after his 55th birthday, he was accused of some SA allegations in relation to Diddy. A minor was involved at the time, going back to 2000. He immediately shut that down and came out with a statement saying, this is bullshit. This lawyer has been trying to do this to me for years. Show me the proof, blah, blah, blah. Your thoughts on the overall situation?
I think when I saw the headline, it was obviously shocking to me. I think in particular, just because I don't know the man, but he never gave me the vibes of someone who would do what was described. And there, obviously, that's not to say that people who do stuff like that are just openly willing to like share that information or champion that kind of behavior, but just my gut, and maybe it has to do with him being, side by side with Beyonce for so long, and him just like being a father and all this other stuff out of the line,
billionaire,
like, dumb shit, billionaire. Yeah, like Diddy is like that. It comes across as that like 55-year-old dude who can't leave the party, still wants to like bang every supermodel in sight. And Jay-Z just gave a much more mature vibe, and I don't know, like my gut was like, this seems insane. The fact that he shut it down immediately and it didn't seem like a ChatGPT response kind of made me feel like, okay, there's got to be more to this story. But at the same time, like,
we don't know.
I want to remain neutral. I think, and it doesn't help that like the internet is so conspiratorial, and like anyone who's rich is tied to the Illuminati and Epstein and all this shit. So like, it's so easy for people to immediately, cast this label of guilt upon them.
Yeah.
But right or wrong, I hope the truth comes out and this gets solved sooner than later. And if she's lying, I hope she suffers consequences. And if Jay-Z did what he did, then he should obviously suffer consequences as well.
100%. Yeah, I agree with everything you said, bro. I mean, it's also terrible timing, just with the whole Super Bowl thing. And it's just like, I mean, again, there's never a good time to be accused of this, by the way, but just like in the bigger scheme of things, like with him being the head of the Super Bowl and organizing all that stuff and whatever. But this is my thing, bro. And I'm not trying to add to the conspiracy theories you speak about online. I hope he didn't do this. I honestly, in my heart, I feel very confident saying he did not do this, right? I'm just going to put that out there. However, the issue is the optics leading up to this moment, right? Like my thing is, bro, we've known your boys with Diddy forever, right? We know that you had a close to like 15-year friendship with R. Kelly, that you two felt the need to do multiple albums together during the time that because of social media, this wasn't a big deal. But people back then were aggressively talking about R. Kelly being a wild boy back in the early 2000s when they did the Best of Both Worlds 1 and 2, right? So my thing is, I'm not saying he's a criminal and he's done any of these terrible things he's being accused of. But bro, I'm also just saying there's probably a chance that his closet isn't the cleanest, bro. Like there has to be a couple skeletons in that bitch because, man, like he seems too smart to also put himself around people and like not be aware of what's happening, bro. Like that's the only thing. Like, again, I'm not saying it's a part, but I there's no way for me to truly believe that he had no idea. And then he was like, oh, what? I had no idea that Diddy was doing these things, right? And again, we probably don't even, dude, Diddy might be acquitted of all this shit and be innocent, right? And we look silly. But I don't know, man. There's enough there, right? Like, I mean, again, dude, there's allegations that he was also dating Aaliyah when Aaliyah was not of age, bro. Like, so I don't know, man. Like, again, I feel confident he didn't do this. I think this is probably just someone trying to get rich, off his name, fuck him over during a time where it's convenient to be loud about this. But man, it's hard for me to believe that there's not something in his closet that if it came out in a real way would, be damaging to his like current career.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like when you're a rapper of that caliber, like, and running through women left and right for 30 years or whatever, there has to be some like questionable behavior especially when like alcohol and drugs and stuff are involved. But at the same time, I don't know, the guilty by association thing is tricky. I think one, because like even when celebrities are side by side or like live near each other or go on tour and stuff, I feel like you never truly know like how deep their relationship
Yeah,
goes.
that's fair. Like, bro, are we just doing this because it's convenient for us to both get the bag, or are we actually best friends? Yeah,
Right.
I agree with that.
And it's like,
that's a great
for
point.
instance, like Drake and Weeknd at certain periods, you would swear they're best bros. And then you see other footage and stories and you're like, damn, these guys low key seemingly hated each other. And, you know, I would just hate for like some of my friends to get caught up and people to be like, well, you knew about this or condoned it. And I think that's what the tough thing is here, is just truly knowing, one, if Jay-Z was aware of sketchy shit going on, and two, even if he was, like, did he just turn a blind eye to get the bag and kind of distance himself from it, which wouldn't be good.
Yeah, there's nothing illegal but there's nothing illegal about that.
Right. And at the same time, I think that's something that a lot of people seemingly do, is like they might know their friends up to some shit, but they don't feel comfortable like calling them out. I think that's why Jack Harlow, again, he always fucking comes up, made that song Gang Gang or whatever, where he's talking about like dudes just being friends with homies who are doing like questionable stuff.
Yeah.
And even if they're not engaging in it, they're like, well, he's my friend, like that's not me, that's him. So maybe it's on some shit like that.
Do you know there's what the one thing I do think he's guilty of though?
What?
The full of shitness when he in that statement called himself a young man. I was like, bro, who are you talking about, bro? You were 55 years old. There is no young man that was being accused of anything.
And I mean, I didn't read the whole thing, but he wasn't like referring to his younger self or anything, right?
No, it felt like present state. Yeah,
oh, okay.
Present state. At least that's how it read. Maybe he was alluding to the man he was, 25 years ago or whatever. But I was like, bro, who the fuck is the young man you're talking about, bro? You were 55 as of like December 4th. So, but yeah, I mean, but again, I think the severity of it in this climate warranted that kind of response, right? Because for the most part, bro, there's been random rumors about him for years and we never really hear about it, right? Like maybe he'll come out with a song about it on his own terms, but the idea of like this accusation comes out and within 3 hours he's releasing a statement, makes you understand like, bro, this is not a time to be accused of this shit, which again, not to be that guy, I see why Drake was trying to bring up shit like, bro, like you can't be calling me a PDF in this current climate and think that I'm not going to do something to kind of make sure my name is cleared out of that stuff.
No, I agree with that. I do think they're different in the sense of, I think once the laws involved, people are too dumb to decide, differentiate, innocence versus guilt. It's like if someone accuses you of something, automatically guilty. Like no matter what the fuck happens now, Jay-Z's always gonna have the 13.
Bro, especially because those headlines were everywhere on your algorithm that day.
Right. And Drake is lucky in the sense that like the PDF thing is more so as like a teasing joke, like that is kind of, at least financially and everything else, probably not going to hinder him too much. And like no one's gonna not do a song with Drake because they think he's a PDF. But I wouldn't be surprised if, depending on where this goes with Jay-Z, some organizations might be like, yo, like
we're good,
it's too hot right now, like we got to give it time.
Yeah, because think about it, bro, like Jay-Z at this age and this stage of his career / life is again, dude, I'm being very clear, almost like Diddy, that brands are associating with him because of the cool factor, right? Because like Jay-Z's not dropping songs, bro. Like you're associating yourself with Jay-Z because like this is a godfather in the most important genre of music of the last 30 years, right? And he is the pinnacle artist with all the Grammys, all the #1 albums. But yeah, bro, if this stuff gets a little bit crazier, I can see the NFL or whoever say, you know what, man, let's just like, we appreciate the partnership we had, but let's cool off with this, right? Like, there's a story to be told there.
Yeah, 100%. The news itself is wild. I feel like in general, there's just kind of this manhunt going on for all of the people that seemingly have been in a association with each other, which is why I know 50 Cent like wasn't really ever
Loves
a fan
this
of
shit.
Jay-Z and Puffy, but at the same time, I'm like, are you sure you want to laugh too hard? Because like someone could easily say he did some wild shit too at some point, even if it's fake.
Yeah, but I think, yeah, you're right. 100. Yeah, you're right. Obviously, the answer is you're right. But I do think there's something about 50 that, like, bro, I think the getting shot 9 times and then also being very secure about your own life situation, that I feel like he's always like, yo, I'm playing with house money. It's like, who gives a fuck, bro? Like there's just that nature about him, which is so endearing, So, which is why I think he doesn't care, bro. Like, he's willing to be like, yo, if the line is here, he'll be fucking, there and be like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, he did that shit. And it's like, bro, like, how do you know?
I know. And he's like a comedian.
He is like a comedian. He is like a comedian, 100%, dude. Did you see the thing he did on the on Big Boy's episode recently about like so he's talking about Drake. I saw the academics thing. I want to watch the full episode now, but he was on the Big Boy radio / podcast, and he had a list of all the people that are technically Drake's ops, bro. It was like 100 people. And he's like, yeah, like, dude, he has to go at these people, and like all these people hate Drake because he's been on top, and this is a great time to get at him and all that stuff. So yeah, I gotta watch the full episodes. I don't want to speak, and I don't really know the full context, but I recommend we both watch that and talk about it next week, because like it seemed like it was entertaining at least.
Well, I heard like the main reason he's even defending Drake or seemingly on his side is because they're doing business together and like producing some show or movie or something. So
maybe
seems like a business move.
Yeah, maybe, or maybe he sees a lot of himself and Drake, like when the time where he felt like it felt
everyone or whatever.
Yeah, correct. Like it just feels like too similar to that, right? So there was one comment that he made though. He was saying, because there was that video at one point, pictures of like him and Drake linking up like during the peak of the beef with him and Kendrick, and Big Boy asked him like, yo, what were you guys talking about? And he was like, bro, like I was talking, I'm like, bro, like they said that you lost to Pusha T, right? And he's like, yeah, but what'd you lose? He's like, nothing. He's like, exactly. So like, bro, don't sweat it. And I'm like, that's a cool perspective, but clearly he didn't listen, because like so it is what it is, but I pray that this Jay-Z thing goes away and truthfully nothing happened. It's just like a money grab, but I do hope that if it is a money grab, like, bro, these people are exposed and like held to the highest of like consequences, bro, because that's also wild if you think you can lie about some shit from 24 years ago and get away with it. Like, oh, my bad, it was just a joke, I didn't really mean it, I was, whatever. Like, bro, you got to be locked up and sent away forever for shit like that. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So, all right, let's do a little bit more lightheartedness before we wrap up. Good segue to the Spotify and Apple Music wrap-ups of 2024. Kind of wanted to do like a live reaction to, the songs that you and I were listening to the most. So I wanted to ask you, bro, what was the overall summary of your wrap-up?
Yeah. Oddly enough, so my top artists were in order: Drake, Cudi, Ty Dolla $ign, 21 Savage, and Travis. And then top songs, number 1 was Gas Me Up by Skepta, which is, I'm not surprised. 2 is Euphoria. 3, Risk Taker by Blast. 4, Spaceship Views by Killer Mike. And then 5, Paid by Kanye and Ty Dolla $ign. I think that's, so Drake, for whatever reason, has been top artist for me for like the past 3 years, it seems. But I dug deeper and looked at my top 100 songs of 2024. Drake is literally,
he's nowhere near there.
He's 3 of those songs, and he's not even in the top 20. So I try to do research to figure out what top artist really means. in my understanding is it's not about how many times you replay them. It's how many, I think it's relatively speaking, how many of the songs you listen to that artist name popped up. So like I could listen to 8 songs once that have Drake in it. And if I listen to 1 or 2 fucking Amine songs 1,000 times, like I think Drake will get classified as a higher rank just because I listen to more of him.
Got it.
Which is not fair in my opinion.
You would think so.
Drake is everywhere.
Everywhere.
Dude. Of course he's number 1.
But dude, damn, bro, it sucks. So they do. Like, I had this thing pulled up. I mean, I can get the pictures, but like, I had this thing ready to go, and then it's like, this is what I hate about Apple Music, bro. That fucking like, it's just not like the most like user friendly thing at times. Because I had my replay set up to like discuss, but let me pull up that picture that I sent you. All right, so number 1 artist for me was Drake. I mean, it is what it is, bro. But I played Drake 4,237 minutes, which is crazy. But I do love this, bro. So my second artist is actually Kanye and Ty Dolla $ign. So obviously this is like the Ye and Dolla $ign album. Like, bro, I played them a combined 4,100 minutes, bro. So like that show's pretty close.
Yeah.
That show's pretty close, bro. And what's crazy, like, I don't think that people are giving. I know that Kanye was actually like Spotify's like top. It was in the top 10, I think, overall. But like, I don't think people are giving them enough credit for those 2 Vultures projects that they deserve. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's like, oh, that's a cool coincidence. I'm like, bro, it's not a coincidence. It's good music, right? Like if it was bad, people wouldn't replay that shit over and over.
Yeah. I think something that kind of turned me off, I guess the second album mainly, is I don't know why, but it seemed like Kanye used AI a few times. And I just don't understand the reasoning behind it. Cause like, I believe, I mean, we all know Sci-Hi writes a lot of his shit, maybe all of it, I don't know. But in one of the songs, it was Sci-Hi's verse with Kanye's filter, and then they re-released it and it was just Sci-Hi. And I don't know like why Kanye would be like, fuck it, let me just not record it myself. Let me upload it to aivoice.com and release it that way.
Is that your guess, or did you get like actual like context before like making that comment?
I didn't get context on why. I only have evidence of that song actually being an AI voice, because you could hear like the imperfections and stuff.
Interesting. Yeah, that's weird. So did the idea of that turn you off with the overall project? Like, what else did he like kind of do that for? Or
it's not that I necessarily it wasn't impressed with the output. I think it was more so like, how much do you care about this shit then? Like, is this body of work not as important to you? And if so, I think it just sucks a bit of the excitement out of it. It's so great. I'm just saying, like, now I don't know if like a Vultures 3 is even something he wants to do, or if he even wants to do music still. Like, it's a very weird space when it comes to Kanye right now.
Yeah, but I think he's doesn't he have an album getting ready to come out next year called Bully or something?
Oh yeah. That is true. Who is that? Is that just him, or is that with someone too?
Just him, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll see. But either way, again, dude, like that was the only album that, besides that was the only body of works that I was really going back to constantly. And again, this is just to prove that, you know, I appreciate good music when I hear it. Number 1 album, 542 minutes. It's probably close to 642 minutes now. Kendrick Lamar, GNX. Bro, like, again, I think that's more of a one. I think we said on the pod when it came out, like, this is probably one of the only albums in a long time that was universally loved, rightly so, but also shows proof that, bro, there really wasn't much else to listen to in 2024, bro. So we finally had a really good album. We're like, bro, run that shit back, dude, because like, dude, my second album is Diamante by Gordo, bro. Like, if my second album is essentially a DJ with a bunch of random artists, like just trying to get a couple bangers in, like, that pretty much tells you everything you need to know about 2024 in a nutshell, right? There really wasn't like, bro, those my third one is We Don't Trust You. But bro, like even that, bro, I feel like if I really like dissected that album, it's like that over and over again. And what was the other song that was a banger on that? Like that and no, that's the what was the other song that was a banger with Playboy on We Don't Trust You?
Type Shit?
Type Shit. Yeah, like those two songs, right? Because for the most part, bro, there was nothing about those two albums that was like, oh my God, groundbreaking sound by Future and Metro, right? It was just, you dissed Drake for like 18 songs and like you decided to make a second album the week later. Like there was nothing special about it besides a couple bangers. So, so shout out to Kendrick. But yeah, I just feel like best album by far this year, but also nothing really else was even close to like replayable. Like even like, unfortunately, like the Tyler album, which I do love, I haven't really seen myself going back to it because I'm like, bro, when am I in the mood for that sound? Right? Like, like it's not a gym album. It's not a vibey album. Really, it's like a rage album. So like the only time I see myself listening to again, if I go see him at a concert, right? That's the only time I can see myself like, I want to hear that shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there hasn't been a whole lot of re-listening except for Kendrick, Vultures, and it's pretty much it. Which is why
pretty much the Bad Bunny album came out at the start of the year. That was a good one. But again, you have to obviously be, understand Spanish. So that also like rules out a lot of people. But what was the your overall sentiment about your 2024 wrap up?
Just like how I just rethinking like how that list came to be and how I feel about it.
Yeah.
I would say I definitely need to give more credit to Cudi and 21 Savage. I know when the year started off, we were both praising those two drops. And I was really excited listening to both, especially because the contrast between the two is so extreme. Like 21 Savage it comes across as like a heartless, shooter. And then Cudi's like this emo stoner, and two completely different vibes, but I appreciated both. And I guess at the time, like whenever I'm excited about an album, I never truly know how long I'm gonna actually want to listen to it and give it time. And to this day, which is obviously the end of the year, I'm still revisiting both those albums. So people can say what they want about 21 Savage, but he makes great music, I think. And same with Cudi. I'm sure there's people out there who think he fell off since like Man on the Moon and all that stuff, but I think he's still stuck to his original formula.
I agree.
So yeah, I think that was kind of my takeaway. I was like, oh shit, I really did like those albums.
I agree, dude, because if I go to my top songs, we'll do my top 5 songs in from 5 to 1. So number 5 is Push Ups. Number 4 is Housekeeping. Number 3 is TV Off. Guess what number 2 is? Just guess.
I'm gonna say Family Matters.
No. So to the comments you were just making about Cudi, my number 2 song played of the entire year is Wow, Cudi and ASAP.
Oh shit. Nice.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So
I know you like that song, but damn, apparently a lot.
A lot. And then the number 1 song I played the most was It's Up, Drake, Young Thug.
Nice.
But yeah, to your point though, my top 5 albums for the year, 421 minutes was American Dream, 21 Savage, bro. Like, very good album. Yeah. So I would say, my overall sentiment is like no surprises, bro. To be honest, like no real surprises, man. Like a lot of Drake, which I appreciate it. A couple artists that I kind of sprinkled in more of, which is, we got to give some love to Don Toliver and Hearthstone Psycho. I really enjoyed the Leon Thomas album, Mutt. I really enjoyed the IDK project, the Timeless project by Kaytranada. But for the most part, bro, a lot of Drake, man. And again, in a year that he didn't really release that much music. Oh, shit. In a year that he really didn't release that much music, it's interesting that I still went to that Again, maybe because of the beef, and you're like, bro, like I need to remember why I like this guy in the first place. But yeah, I mean, dude, my Apple Music is all Drake, and it checks out, bro. Like that was the vibe I was trying to be on, bro. Because unlike other artists, and not comparing him to anyone specifically, but like he has a mood for everything, bro. It's if you want the lounging in the backyard, if you want the gym in the, going crazy in the morning, if you just want to, get a little bit silly and have like a banger, like he has everything, which is why I also think we enjoyed Kendrick most recent project, because it felt for the first time he also gave you a similar formula.
Yeah. And I think that's why the conversation with Drake gets so tricky, because it kind of gives merit to Most Def's comment about like shopping
the
with
Target. Yeah.
Because like if I want to listen to hip hop, but I'm around like a group that like I think might be a little too we'll say not of the culture. Like Drake to me is like that nice middle ground. Yeah, apparently us. Which is why he's on our fucking top list. But like he's the safe one I would put on, because it's just like fun mainstream stuff. And I think that's why it makes the conversation difficult, because like from a numbers standpoint, he's up here, but then people who want to talk culture and impact, like they're having a whole different conversation. So that's where I feel like there's this disconnect when people argue over stuff like this. But one other surprising thing for mine, I was surprised Euphoria was number 2, because when we first heard, he dropped on a Tuesday, I think, and you sent me the screenshot of him posting it, and I didn't really like Euphoria too much when I heard it. I was like, it's pretty good, but I'm like, I don't know if I want to listen to this long ass song like over and over. And I think as the beef escalated, like
that was the one song you went back to the most.
Yeah, like I think it was just executed in such a crazy way that,
because very and again, this is not an original take, but because I heard it on the podcast of Brilliant Idiot, so I agree with it. But like, it's also very comedic in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the sexy red line still makes
Yeah, correct. So like he's trying to be, that's the funny diss track where he's like, yeah, I'm gonna clown you right now, as opposed to like Meet the Grams, where it's like, dissecting his entire manhood, blah blah blah.
And I think that's kind of a secret weapon when it comes to good diss tracks is, yeah, you can take the route where you say like some shit in an aggressive way, or the beat's nice, but I think it has to be funny if it's really gonna stick.
I agree.
And that's why Drake with the back-to-back did so well, like the Twitter fingers and all that stuff.
Twitter fingers, your girls tour. Yeah. Like, dude, it at the core of it, bro, and not to be like so like woke, or I'm not trying to give you like thought-provoking ideas every second, but like at the core of it, bro, we're all just kids, man. Like, we're kids. Like, Kendrick Lamar is in his essence still the same kid that he was 12 years old in a schoolyard, dissing each other, bro. And like the disses that got the best reaction were the ones that like you make everyone in that circle around you just start dying laughing, bro.
Yeah.
So like, it's at the core of it, that's all this is, bro. So yeah, I agree with you, man. Like, that's why some of the bangers in Not Like Us hit so hard, because like at the core of it, it's actually funny, right? Like, not the PDF stuff, but like the other stuff leading up to that line, right? So like, yeah, like I agree with you. But what's great, dude, though, those songs aren't even anywhere near my replay. Like, bro, I think I listened to Euphoria once, bro. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I just love the energy of it, and it's fun going back now, because like you can see how things play out. It's like watching, movie number 1 after the sequel comes out, and you're like, oh shit, I caught all these things that I didn't catch the first time. So it's fun going back now that things, I won't say died down, but have gone in a whole
in this direction. Yeah. Bro, but speaking of that, before we get out of here on the heat of the week, dude, I just went back to rewatch Blink Twice. Have you watched Blink Twice since the original time?
No.
Bro, I would, if I were you, I don't want to ruin it. I know you obviously seen the movie, but I don't want to ruin bro, if you watch it the second time, they're giving you so many hints, not to like what's going to happen, but why what happens is crazy based off who the characters were showing you who they were prior to going to the island. Right? I'll give you just one line. Like, bro, like the main character, the female, she says throughout the movie leading up to getting to like the island and everything going crazy, how phenomenal her memory is. And then you're like, yeah, bro, like, yo, I'm telling you, I watched it on the plane and I was like, there it was. Like, it's just like right in front of you. But obviously, you didn't think that movie was gonna take a fucking crazy turn, so like you weren't paying attention to it, right? But yeah, like if you rewatch, I would say it's a very good rewatchable because again, it's so shocking that like, oh wow, that was like right there, and like I didn't even pay attention to that.
Yeah, no, I definitely gotta rewatch that, and it's such a. I don't think it's a coincidence that movie came out this year because it seems very fitting with all of this stuff going on with Cat Williams and this elite person getting accused of XYZ. So yeah, it's wild times.
Yeah, and the fact that we're here now at the end of the year about Jay-Z, like, you know, like, yeah, I agree with you. All right, bro, before we get out of here though, episode 198 about to be in the books. Heat of the week, my guy, what is something that you've been listening that you want to put the people on?
Honestly, there hasn't been a whole lot since we last spoke. Let's see. I want to see if there's something new I could put the people onto that I haven't had a chance to. Damn, it's been a quiet few weeks, huh?
Maybe for you.
Here, why don't we go with this one? So I'm not normally a fan of the Cash Cobain type beats, just because I think they sound good, but like it's just so oversaturated at this point that it gets old.
Yeah, oversaturated. And I also hate when like DJs are trying to convince me that he's doing something that's like we've never heard before. I'm like, bro, we've heard it in the other 10 songs he's put out. Like, what the fuck do you mean I've never heard this before? Like,
yeah, exactly. But this one was like a nice change of pace, I guess. Or maybe it's just that like most of the people I hear rapping on it don't do anything interesting. But it's this blonde chick named Alexis Ashley, and oddly enough, she has Pusha T on it. It's called Callin'. And I would say the vibe of it has more of like an R&B sound. It's not like an upbeat, like aggressive ass song. She's the singer. Obviously, Pusha T's rapping on it, but never heard of her. Very smooth vibe. I've noticed Pusha T collaborates with a lot of random people, at least random to me. But the song sounds great. I've yet to check out her other stuff, but I added it to my playlist just because I found myself of all the newer songs that came out recently wanting to re-listen to it.
Calling as in like calling you, like no calling. G at the end, right?
Correct. Yep.
Nice. All right, I'll peep that one. I didn't have even heard of that woman's name before, so I'll definitely check her out. For me, bro, it's something that this might end up being high on my recap of the 2024 because I've listened to this a lot since it came out on Friday. So shout out to Just Adam, love him from The Shy. He put us on to Smino 3 years ago. Loves his last project. Dude, he just dropped a project on Friday called Maybe in Nirvana. Bro, I've been playing this song called Dear Friend a gazillion times, bro. Like, nice. I just love everything about that song, bro. I think because, selfishly for me, like this has been obviously a super important year, married my wife. So I just think about those moments I had at the wedding with, obviously you, but like family members and truly embracing like, oh, this is like a victory lap in a way. And like the song starts off with him like shouting out to his grandmother, yo, we went to Coachella, grandma. And then he's talking about something else and he brings up this line that hit me hard, was like, but I still miss my mama. Like, bro, like there's like so many things that he's like referencing to, like he's so proud of what he's achieving in life. And like, dude, it's just like that song just, again, maybe it's more like a personal thing for me, but like if you like Smino in general, like his flow is just like, he could be saying nothing on tracks and it sounds nice.
Yeah.
But that song specifically hit home for me and is my heat of the week. But as a side note, the overall album is fire, bro. It's so short. So I hope more people keep doing this, bro. It's only 29 minutes long. So maybe it's more of an EP. Bro, there's the Ready, Set, Goku is fire. And dude, I didn't realize how funny he is. I don't know. Did you ever watch wrestling growing up?
Yeah, here and there.
Do you remember the Hawaiian dude that like put his ass in people's faces, paused like Rikishi?
Yeah.
Dude, he has a Rikishi line in this.
Oh,
and I'm like, bro,
about him.
Exactly, dude. Like, I was like, that's amazing how you made this work, like in a most random way, but like it worked, dude. So yeah, I would just say, dude, if you have 29 minutes, throw this on. Highly entertaining, highly impressive.
Do you remember, not
your friend
super
mine.
random side note, but do you remember Yokozuna? I was thinking of him at first.
Yeah, but he was a little bit before Rikishi's time.
Yeah, he was like early days.
Yeah, I think he was a little bit. I mean, little bit. He was like probably like 100 pounds heavier than him too.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, the line's like something Rikishi, don't get wrestled in the moment, and I'm like, bro, how the fuck did you make that work, bro? Like, so stuff like that is pretty impressive. And the Ready Set Goku is probably my second favorite song, and he's talking about how like I don't fuck with you and it's okay. Like, so yeah. Again, Smino, highly impressive. Shout out to Just Adam putting us on. But yeah, if you have some time, the album is called Maybe Nirvana. But my heat of the week this week is Dear Friend. So people.
Nice. Yeah, I'm glad you called it out because totally forgot to listen to that album.
Yeah, dude, it's an easy, even at the gym, it might actually work. So
nice.
Cool, bro. Let the people know what we got going on. Let's get out of here.
Yes, sir. Catch us at audio-theory.com. New episode every week on all platforms. And if you want to peep the heat of the week selection, check the website. We have that on Spotify as well as Apple Music as well. And if you're on the website or YouTube, actually, check down below. We got merch for you to cop before the end of the year. But besides that, please like, comment, subscribe, do what you can to support the channel.
Do what you can to support. We probably have one more episode left. So probably maybe next week do like a 2024 overall recap, if anything. But yeah, happy to do this one more time, IG, before we go into the new year and bigger and better things. So love you.
Love you too. Peace.